right. Hello, friends. Thanks for joining. Very, very excited to try to show you how I decorate my edges of my Bible. I am very excited too. Thank you. Yeah, I looked around a lot at different people's what other Bibles people had, because I was trying to decide what I wanted my second one to be, and I thought that this one was really pretty. Ooh, hi, Kristen. Kristen has this one. That's one of the reasons I got it. And I really want to try out a paperback after I've had this hardback for so long. Here, so I'll go ahead and show you guys what we're going to try to make our finished product look like. So this is my first Bible, and it was one of the hardback ones. It's so funny. When I first did it, I think this was a lot more vibrant, and now that I've done so many pages in it, it's become, a little bit more worn and kind of wrinkled, but that's okay. I think it's still very fun and happy. Yes, the leaves are awesome. So yeah, so this is our goal for the day. We will see how it goes. So I'll go ahead and show you. I've done a little bit of prep work in that I've taken, oops, sorry, hit my tripod. So I've taken the Bible and I've used some washi tape to attach it all the way around, so all the pages are staying together. That's the first step in this process. I did that ahead of time because I needed a second pair of hands, and so I had my husband help me. He held it while I taped it. I'm also going to tell you that what I did for my first one was I had this lattice stamp, and so I just got it in black ink, and then I stamped it on the edges of the Bible. Then I went back in and colored it with markers. And the thing that I'm seeing that might be a problem today, so we might have some trouble, is I don't remember this being the case with my first one, but it seems to me like this edge here is really concave. It's an angle. And so I'm a little bit worried that the stamp isn't going to get onto all the pages. I don't remember this being a problem when I did it on the hardcover, and so I don't know if it's just a consequence of this being a paperback, or just it was a problem. It was the same, but it wasn't a problem before, and I'm just not remembering. So I'm hopeful that this is going to work out. I'm feeling slightly nervous since I'm doing it live in front of a bunch of people. Can you push it flat? I tried to do that, and my husband tried to do that as we taped it. And I think maybe what I just need to do before I start might be to try to tap it down as much as possible. I'm not really sure. That feels a little better. I think you can get it flat, and then as soon as you stop making it flat, it goes back. So I might have to go in with a marker and kind of fill in the edges if we can't get there. I can show you on this one. So obviously my stamp isn't long enough to do them all, so I had to do it twice. And you can kind of tell it's right here is where I started with the second one. And I didn't quite stamp it exactly in the right place, so I kind of went in with a black marker to fill in the overlap, and you can't really tell, obviously, so we'll see. I'm also thinking for this one, since this is so curved, that I might, so what I did before was put my stamp on an acrylic block and stamp it, and I'm thinking this time I might actually just take this stamp, not with the acrylic block, and see if I can use my hands to press it down. I don't know. We'll see how the spirit moves me when the time comes. So anyway, so this is just a stamp I had from, I don't know, way back in the day when I used to make a lot of cards. I think it was by Studio Calico. I'm sure this one isn't available anymore, but I know I've seen a really, really similar one at Michael's that was attached to a wooden block. So if you are just desperate for a lattice pattern, I think that they are still out there. Okay, I also, when I did my first one, I didn't use the Stays On black ink, and so I think it was a little water soluble. Maybe bend your stamp before you apply. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, maybe just like this and starting. That might be what I do, Tanya. Thank you. Maybe we'll start like this. I'm just worried about it moving. I'm just worried. We'll see what happens. This could be a disaster. Okay. But this time I'm going to use the Stays On. All right. I also am going to be using some like water soluble markers. I don't know the best. So I think that one of the reasons the old one has gotten a little worn is because anytime I've used water on a page, sometimes it might have, you know, been removed a little bit by the water. But I'm also not sure if they make like markers that don't react with water. So I don't know. Maybe you have magical markers in your life. I'm thinking I need to put this on the acrylic block. Here, I'll move this over. It's being so big. Just to ink it. I'm thinking that might be the best plan. I know, I might need the extra set of hands. Babe, are you, yeah, he just gave me a salute, so he's willing to join in. Oh, yay, I'm so glad that Ella's watching. Hi, Ella. You could do this to the edge of your Bible. Okay, so that seems pretty inked. Let's see what happens now. Trying not to set my Bible in the black ink. Okay, here we go, friends. I'm gonna be ducking under the camera for a moment. Okay, so that did not work well. So next we are gonna try to do it not on the acrylic block. I'm glad that we can problem shoot together here. Everyone can see the issues you can have with this. Sorry, I'm just re-inking up the pad. Hey, would you come hold this for me? My husband's gonna get involved this time. We're gonna try again. I know, if I had like looked at this earlier and realized that it might be hard, I might not have done it before in front of such an audience, but okay. Thank you. This is my husband, Biff.
Hello.
Okay. Second try. Oh my goodness, it's quite the mess, isn't it, friends? Well, I'm gonna finish stamping down here, and then I'm gonna go back with a marker. I think when we color it in, it won't look quite so terrible. And if it does, you know, we tried. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, let's move it up a little bit so I can, there you go. Get this end of it. Move it just a little bit, sorry babe. Okay. I promised that it was not this big of a deal the first time I did it, and so I wonder if it just might be easier to do it on the hardcover Bibles. Ooh, see? So that actually looks lovely. I can't decide if I should go back and try to do more up here or if that's just gonna make it worse. I think that's probably just gonna make it worse. Let me grab a pen and, oh, not in that bag. Sorry, trying to find my good pens. Here we go, okay. I would try again at top and smaller sections like you did the bottom. Yeah, maybe. I'm just worried that it's gonna get too muddled. I think that I can see it well enough to draw it in. So I'm gonna take a pigment liner and just work on lightly drawing in some of the ones that are hard to see. And the thing is, like, in my first one, you can't really see the black that much. So, I don't think... Yeah, I do. It is, like, that does seem like it would have worked better to use smaller sections of the stamp. I promise that the first time I did this, it wasn't a problem. I tell ya, this is what you get. Hubris for doing it live. I'm just kind of gonna lightly hit some of these. Oh. Goodness gracious. Maybe I should try the stamp again here. Maybe just ink up part of it. I know it is. It's like you're watching a train wreck in motion. I have some hope that it will all look okay in the end, but that could end up being a false belief. Okay, let's see if I just trying to line it up with the good section. There we go. It's just a mess. All right, we're gonna try coloring it in and see what happens then. Maybe we'll start at the bottom in the good part, and maybe that will help us out. Sorry, I'm leaning that against my leg. So I'm gonna be using these Tim Holtz Distress markers. You can, I'm sure, easily use like Crayola markers or anything else. I just still have these from card making stuff I used to do. I also have this handy dandy reference sheet. I've just torn a piece off of it, but I can tape it back together. So I know which colors are which, because they really don't look a lot. Like this color here is this, and like you wouldn't be able to predict that, I think, from the marker top. So I'm gonna start with my blues at the top. These the ones. All right, so where's this one? Great. Okay. This one actually is more purple. We'll say that one for purple. And I'm going to use the bigger end here. And so we're just going to color it in like this. I'm not going to make you guys watch all this. It's probably going to get pretty boring. I think I'm just going to do a few rows of blue here. So I'll hit this with several. Yes. Well, I mean, I think that everybody obviously has problems, and so it is good to see other people trying to figure out their mistakes. I actually have been thinking that I might on this Bible, I had been thinking I might do it on like the top and the bottom as well, because before I waited until I'd done a couple of my entries to color the edges, and once you have tabs on the top, it can be really hard to do that. So I was waiting, but maybe the top or bottom will go better for me. We can only hope. Okay, maybe this one. And I don't think this is the one we haven't done yet. So yeah, you can tell like this darker blue will easily cover up the bad black parts. I don't know, maybe I should do the whole thing blue. But I do love the rainbow. Maybe I just shouldn't do like yellows. I'm gonna keep thinking about how we can best fix this. Oops, wrong end. Okay. Now I'm going to move over to some purples. Is this? No. Sorry, I'm trying to find my, there it goes, milled lavender. Let's see how this looks. I don't know. I'm still feeling a little optimistic. I feel like maybe once we get color on there, we won't be able to tell how disastrous stamping was. But it's also possible that it's not going to work out, and we should begin to accept it. It's not like the edges of your Bible are the most important part of it or anything. The inside's pretty important. Yeah, maybe here. I was talking with my brother and my sister-in-law about watching these videos the other day. My brother was like, yeah, they're pretty boring, but it's kind of hypnotic. I'm like, well, I'm glad that you can think that. So feel free, if you have something else better to do on your Sunday afternoon / evening, to hop over to that. But if you'd like to watch me color these in to see what ends up happening, I will welcome your company. Okay, now I'm going to move on to my pinks. The pinks are the part that I tore, so I'm having to look at my poor torn little reference sheet. Okay, these ones. Yeah, I think I'll keep this one from before. Yeah, I will post, I'll post pictures on Instagram, and then I'll also post this video, such as it is, on YouTube and on my blog, so you can catch up there if you need to go do something else. YouTube is also nice because you can fast forward through it. Yeah, so when it gets here, I'm just kind of guessing where the color should be, since I stamped a couple of different times. Oops. Oh, that's my mom. She's tuned in and figured out how to comment. Hi, Mom. She says hi to you, Beth. Okay. Yeah. I do enjoy the coloring tasks. I feel like this is fun. There we go. Trying to decide where. I'm not sure I'm gonna go ahead and start using this Bible yet. I'm thinking about saving it for Advent, and maybe by the time we hit Advent, I will feel better about how the edges look. I don't know. I mean, so far this part doesn't look terrible. It also is like the part that was the best, so maybe I might be able to go back in with some colors after with a pen after I've got it colored too, and kind of try to outline the edges. I could even go in with like a Sharpie marker or something a bit thicker, and that could work. Okay. All right, I think we're gonna move on to our yellow oranges. Let me look at, oops, sorry, oops. Oh, thank you so much, Sienna, that is very helpful. All right, it looks like I did yellow and orange together. Yeah, I think that it might work out. So you can see, yeah, Sharpie might bleed, that's a good point. I'm not sure. All right, I've got a lot of different orange and yellows. So I'm gonna pull them all out and then look at my pictures. That is an ugly one, so I don't want that one. So let's see, this one is Rusty Hinge. That'll be good. What's Wild Honey like? Kind of similar to the other one. Red Marigold is good. What's this one? Marmalade. I think we'll do this one instead of Rusty Hinge. That one looks kind of bad. And then we've got a couple of yellows too. So maybe we'll start with more oranges and we'll work our way towards the more lighter yellows. Okay. Oh, maybe this is, on my picture, this looked prettier. Maybe we won't use this one very much because it is kind of brown and ugly. Okay. Let's move on to the marigold. I think this is more of an orangey color. Kind of, maybe. Oh. Thank you. Okay. At this point, I'm just kind of guessing where the color should be, because there's not very definite markings from our poor little stamp. Oh, thank you. Okay, we'll do this one now. How is it? This one was going on darker, but kind of drying lighter. Okay. All right, now we'll go on to the lighter ones. Oh, thank you, Whitney. Whitney was one of my roommates in grad school. So many people in this Periscope. So fun. So yeah, well, I'm glad that everyone stuck with me during the disastrous debacle of stamping on the margins. I promise it worked better the first time, so I don't know if it's just the anatomy of this Bible to blame or what was happening. I'm gonna grab this one again and do this over here. All right, we're kind of getting back into the territory of ones that are easier to see, so I'm feeling better about that. All right, so after yellow, we got green. The colors of the rainbow are known to me. All right, let's make sure none of these are super ugly. Pine needles is good. Peeled paint. Ooh, dropped it. Forest moss. Which one's this one? No, the forest moss is very ugly. Not that one. Do bundled sage. Maybe, I don't know which one is. Here, this one. Okay. Here we go. I also feel now like you could probably do this without stamping anything. You could just kind of choose a, you know, boxy pattern and take a bunch of markers and be good to go. Since obviously here in the middle, that's a little bit what happened. Okay. there we go. Had a bit of a ripple. So I think that you could definitely use Crayola markers for this, because the stress markers are also water reactive. So like you could like color these on a page and then spray them with water, and they bleed kind of like watercolors, which is cool, but not necessarily what you want for the edge of your Bible. But I think that, so I kind of feel like Crayola, like, you know, washables would be just the same situation. I'm trying to think what, I mean, I'm sure there are other brands of marker. I know that there are like some that aren't distress markers but look exactly like them on Amazon. I think maybe they're called, I don't remember, like watercolor markers or something. So that might be another option. I feel like this is like a bunch of the same color all in a row. So I'm gonna overdo this one on top to make it a little different. Okay, great. Okay, now we're gonna go back to blues. Still have mine out. We're almost done. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they were waterproof, it would be better, but I don't actually know of any like waterproof pigment markers. I don't know if anyone else does who can comment. But these ones definitely aren't. Like, these are water reactive. So like when I used to do, I used to use this stamp and these markers when I made cards. And so I would like stamp the lattice design, and then I would just spray water on them, and so they would run. It was really pretty. So yeah, pit markers, I guess. Pit pens, maybe. Anyway, I mean, I don't think it's a huge deal that if they run a little bit when you do stuff in your Bible. I mean, I haven't really felt like it's detracted from the experience. The fact that mine have kind of, you know, bled a little bit. Sorry, friends, I feel like I've been quiet for a while. The coloring will do that to you. It's just very meditative. Yeah, aren't the blues are great. There's part of me that feels like I could have done the whole thing in blues since my Bible cover is blue, but I really love the rainbow effect. All right, I've lost my purples, but we'll go back to purple now. I didn't do any reds. I have some reds. I didn't think about that. I kind of wanted to do pink. I'm not sure if I had done reds originally. I should go back and look at my first one. So yeah, at this point I'm just kind of drawing random triangle-ish shapes in the places where I feel like there should be a lattice. Oh, I don't know if you could gesso the edge. I mean, I have never used gesso, so I don't really know how it works. Maybe someone else who is more familiar with it could weigh in. I mean, I would be a little bit worried, I guess, that it would cause your pages to stick together, but maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, I usually don't prep my pages because just decided life is too short. This is not the purple I used before at the bottom. Whoops. I just realized that. Is it still available somewhere? Where's the... That one is not it. I was gonna try to... Oh, here it is. It was under here. We'll use some of this. Whoops. Okay. All right. So, let me hit the, I feel like the bottom here. Well, I'll just hit that one. I feel like this right here could use some color. There we go. Okay. I'm trying to, so I could go back and like try to hit these. I am not sure. I'm not sure I could like ever like get the right colors again to like kind of fill in these. There's some white holes. So I think what I'm going to do, which could be a mistake, but at this point, why not? Since these are a little water reactive, I'm going to take a baby wipe and just blend them a little bit. And we'll just see what happens. I know that the ink won't run. So, you know, a little bit of blue is coming off there. I mean, I don't know if this is doing anything, but it certainly isn't hurting anything, so that's good. Okay, I don't know if that blended them, maybe a little bit. We can tell ourselves it did. The placebo effect. Okay, so I think I am going to untape them and we'll see how it looks not taped. You have to be a little bit careful when you remove the washi tape because it does occasionally want to stick to the back cover of your Bible. Oop. Oh, that just pulled a little bit of paper off. Oh well. We'll go back and paint over that sometime. Ooh, ripped it. Here, maybe we'll come back up here and do this. Okay. I mean, that's pretty nice. I don't know. I mean, I feel like in its best days, this one was probably a little bit better, but you know, I am totally fine with it. It was all about the process and I had a very, very, very fun time coloring it in. And I think it's gonna look nice. I mean, it's mostly, you know, you only kind of see little bits of the edges when you're working in the Bible. So I think it's just gonna be a colorful edge. Alrighty, well, I hope that was helpful. At the very least, you got to see maybe why you don't want to stamp on the edge of your Bible. So glad to provide that lesson. I promise that it worked better the first time, but I'm not 1000% sure what the difference was this time. Anyway, but thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope that you have a fun time on the rest of your Sunday. I will take some pictures of this and put it up on Instagram and my blog, and I'll also upload this video to YouTube. It might not be till tomorrow because I like to take pictures in the sunlight and it's going down a little bit here. But anywho, thanks so much, friends. See you next time.